Holla at your boy. You already know what it is. 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗶𝗯𝗲 𝐿8K. You feel me? Jazz America, Us TV. What is the threshold of success? Why does success or someone else's success intimidate your success? Isn't the garden plentiful? Isn't it the land of the free? Isn't it the land of opportunities and businesses? Why does one's success dampens someone else's mood, right? What is the purpose of the sabotage, knowing that someone else's point of success, right, didn't even supersede the person that they were trying to sabotage? So there are moments of sabotagery when the person that they place obstacles in front is trying to elevate a platform of success so that people thrive in that sector, that community of business, income, opportunity, living well, their well-being. The more you get around people and you start to engage into conversation, it's good to question their expectations to see what they want out of life, so that you know that the time well spent is cohesive with your mentality, because you may hinder your beliefs and your limitations based off of the threshold of success, and you don't want to have a threshold. You don't want to have a threshold of success. You don't want to have a threshold. I don't want to have a threshold. Can't speak for everyone else. I don't want to have a threshold in how far I can go, the amount of money I want to accumulate, the amount of businesses I want to have, the amount of projects I want to do, the amount of songs I want to release, the amount of cars I want, the amount of houses I want. If you look at America, it's still underdeveloped. When you drive around and you go from state to state and you hit the road and you look at the side of the road, it's like mass of green, right? Mass green, underdeveloped areas, right? We're going into like the new millenniums, what is this, Generation X or whatever, like the Jetsons, like futuristic, Futurama type of deal. And when you look around, sometimes you still see places that look like an old time movie. And that mentality is still old time. And when they see someone doing something out of the norm, it's deemed as this person is crazy. So if you see someone working out consistently, they're like, okay, why does this person work out? What's his problem? Do he think that he's better than someone? Do he think that he's stronger than someone? Instead of saying, yo, that guy, he wants to be healthy. He wants to break his limitations. He wants to channel different aspects of life that are limited so that he can channel that mindset from not just working out, but going into the work sector and saying, when I'm on my 1-2, my job, when I'm on my in my business, in my projects and stuff, how could I break the barriers and limitations of what the norm is, right? It's like the person that's breaking a record in track and field, because someone sets the record and then it becomes the new standard of what or how fast or how far someone could jump or how far you could throw the javelin or whatever, right? So there has to be individuals that come and set new standards so that you could evolutionize the mindset and the standard of how one thinks without it being annoying to an individual. Like, someone being different, smart, shouldn't be annoying to an individual. That's like, it shouldn't bother the individual. One should just be like, okay, here's a perspective, or here's the way I see things, with the choices of like, okay, I agree, I don't agree, I want to be a part of that, I do want to be a part of that, but not in the sense of, yo, man, I don't think that could happen, man, because, man, you're thinking big, but that can't happen, man. I don't think you can reach that limitation, man. That's it sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds good. Like, this is 2023 going into 2024. Like, why are you even thinking like that? Like, I'm listening to individuals saying that I'm putting in hard labor, right? And they're stressed, right? And they don't want to put in that work anymore, and they want to transition to the next level of success, retirement, and stuff like that, right? So in that sense of you wanting to go into retirement, you want to go into the next level, why not listen to the people who are in that space of working smart and not working too hard, knowing, because that's a choice. There's people that want to work hard, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's other people that want to work in a relaxation type of vibe and put that sweat and labor into other aspects of life that may benefit them. But if you're complaining about the hard labor and the unfairness of the work environment, why not learn a new concept, become a part of a new concept, and eliminate the mindset that you have of not getting to where you want to get to, right? And if you're not where you want to get to, utilize what you have at the moment to leverage yourself to create platforms, right? And when you seeing someone say that, yo, here was my blueprint, here's what I did, here's what I said I was going to do, and you seeing them do it, can't be like, yo, bro, like, slow down. You need to stop. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do that. There's technology that's eliminating the labor for a human being that's complaining, right? So by choice, you complaining about the labor that you're putting in when you could invest in the technology that takes away that labor and gives you back that time so that you don't have time to complain about what you don't have, the stress, right? That's redundant. The conversations of stress, that's redundant. The conversations of depression, that's redundant. The conversation of you hating somebody like crazy because you're seeing them do things that you would like to do, but you won't take the first initiative step to doing it. You feel me? So, for example, I was spending mad money going to the studio, right? Mad money going to the studio. And I said to myself, I'm not in the position where I could go crazy in the studio like I once was before. You feel me? I still love the studio. I still love the big studio, and it's needed for the quality, the sound. That's just what it is. Like, you just need that for certain moments. But in the meantime, let me invest in myself, learn about my skill, build my skill, so by the time I get back in the studio, in a big studio, I don't waste my money and I don't waste my time. And then I could articulate how I want to sound. And once an engineer or an entity becomes familiar with my sound, they know how to have a studio session that's effective, instead of having a studio session that's a waste of bread and a waste of time, right? So that is also going back to the threshold of success. Like, what are your thresholds? What are your limitations? If you have limitations, why does it bother you that the next person doesn't have limitations when it comes to certain things, right? Are you expressive? Do you know how to express? Are you afraid to express your values? When I'm going into situations and I'm going into a bank, or I'm going to speak to someone, I'm not going to sell you a mediocrity dream. I'm not going to sell you that I want to just be a part of the entity. I want to contribute. I want to be an asset, but I want to be a big player in the game, right? I have to be a big player in the game. I don't think on small scales overall. When starting off in investments in certain aspects, sometimes I may want to come in increments so that I can learn as I go, build, find out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, right? And then when I learn the skill and I learn the concept, I go big, right? There's a lot of silence in and around the areas, the communities, right? Because one is looking from a perspective of judgment instead of engaging in exchanging conversation and bartering skills, assets, abilities and stuff like that. So you're looking at someone from a perspective saying, I don't know what you do, but you look weird because I see you doing what you do. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not what I do, so you're crazy. So you're labeling that goes from word of mouth. Your homeboy crazy. You feel me? Or da 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 da. Now everyone's looking at you from a perspective. If you don't have a sound mind like myself, right? That'll kind of break someone's mental down. And when you react to a situation, right, you'll get deemed as the antagonist or the aggressor or something like that. Without people knowing the full story, right? And they don't have to know the full story. But in the concept of the business and the threshold and the barriers that you have to break and the people that you have to separate from in order for you to be successful, one must know that there's certain things that has to be done within that process of like gaining a mentality of like success, right? Why would they make the luxury cars and lifestyles if it wasn't for people to have, right? Why would they make these big houses and concepts and architectural concepts if it wasn't to be put to use? Why would they create technology if they didn't want to see the technology expand into the next level of evolution, right? If it wasn't supposed to be this grand, vast, monumental mammoth of an idea, right? Why would I look at someone and say, yo, he's too nice, it's time for him to stop winning? No. The people that's too nice are supposed to be motivation, like you motivate me. You feel me? So that when I get to that level of competition and I get to that level of skill display, I can sharpen my skill and even take it further than the ones that came before me. A lot of people overindulge into certain concepts because they're saying to themselves, why am I not like that person? Why didn't I get to that point of that person? Instead of saying, yo, bro, let me work out with you. Yo, you got 5 minutes? Can I talk to you about this concept? Yo, come here real quick. Yo, show me how to do this real quick. Yo, can you be a mentor for me? Yo, I'm just reaching out, man. I'm looking for a mentorship program. Da 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 da. Yo, here's what I'm bringing to the table. You know what I mean? I just want to make you aware. I'm gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I'm bringing to the table. Just want to make you aware that I'm bringing something to the table and I'm here. Can I sit down and have lunch with you 1 second? Yo, bro, like I got this idea that's dope. You feel me? You think that you want to be a part of this idea, this concept? Huh? Do you think that? Do you think you can contribute to that concept? Yo, I see where your idea is going. Here's what I could contribute to your concept. Do you have time to sit down and talk about these concepts? Yo, bro, I want to invest in your crafting abilities. Do you have time to sit down and talk about it? Here's what I can bring to your concept or bring to your idea, or here's where we could take it to the next level. I know, I see where you at, but let's take it further than that. Why does that intimidate people? And the reason why is the programming of what you can't do and what you can do. Right? I didn't grow up thinking about if I was trying out for a quarterback position. I didn't look at the quarterback position. I didn't know nothing about football. I just knew that there was a position called the quarterback where you could be precise with running the offense. There's decision-making skills. To hit the open player, to know when to run the ball and when to pass the ball. They didn't know anything about it to that level, but I knew that based off the peers that I was around and family members that I was around, I was being taught certain things and skills, and I'm like, okay, how do I take this concept and take it to the next level? So what did I do? I tried out for the team, right? Tried out for the team, ended up being in the position of a quarterback. Didn't learn it as soon as possible. Was I naturally able? Yes, I was naturally able because I was willing to learn, listen, and then practice on my off days. Basketball. Yo, oh, this is how you shoot the ball? This is how you dribble the ball? Oh, I like this concept. But then you gotta go around somebody. You gotta, there's gonna be a defender. So now you gotta learn how to move, and you gotta learn how to use your mind to, create different movements and stuff like that. But then you gotta coach. Oh, but then there's a team. Okay. Listen, learn, understand, work on your off days. Right? Put in more time because time was the investment, right? Put in more time in the investment so that when it was time to display my skills, I could do that, right? Mindset. Mindset was, okay, I'm in an environment that's fucked up, right? Growing up as a kid, not necessarily the household, the environment of just all of it together, okay? Who are in the positions of success? And when people were in position of success, why are we pulling them down and saying, yo, you don't need to be successful, you don't deserve to be successful? All these different things happening in our environments. You feel me? All these tragic things happening in our environments. And then you saying, damn, like, if homie didn't make it, I can't make it. Like that type of stuff. Like those concepts are like played out. You know what I'm saying? Those concepts are played out of like, you can't do two things at once, and you can't you can't study this and you can't study that, and you can't be in business doing this and then business. That's like played out concepts of success, right? The world is abundant. The world is full of like multifaceted people with different skills, and then technology has allowed us to show our abilities and our skills and stuff like that. So now in that aspect, you gain a mindset of control, how to control your mindset, how to engage and when to not engage, when to speak up, when to not speak up, when to defend yourself, when to not defend yourself, all those different things, right? Just so you could be a solid, complete individual in an environment that's noisy, constantly moving, different opinions, different concepts. How do you focus and stay tunneled? You know what I'm saying? Stay tunnel vision to the goal. You feel me? And that is the choice that a lot of people don't take, right? And it's not, we're not knocking no one, because it's all a choice. You feel me? It's a choice to read the book. It's a choice to learn the concept. It's a choice to apply the concept. It's a choice to take the initiative to fail, right? You know, I don't like that word, because it's like when you're building something, and like just going back to the studio aspect, had no prior knowledge of like how to put a song together, how to mix a record, how to format, lingo, count bars, tempo, all of that stuff. It was just, here's a box full of tools, figure out how to use it. If the tools is not in the box, make your own tool. Reinvent or innovate, right? Within that process, you'll learn what works for you, or you'll learn how to create what works for you in an innovative way that may work for you and may not work for others, which shouldn't deter someone from saying, well, if he could do it, then I can't do it. Because no, I actually got my hands dirty to figure out what makes my hands glow. You feel me? Or what makes my aura glow. I walked, I drove, I flew, ran, swam, all those different things to figure out what works for me, right? Without caring about the knowledge of judgment, right? Because people gonna judge you based off the prior knowledge that they currently have, which may not be aligned with how you think based off the path that you chose to walk, right? So their threshold shouldn't be your threshold, because in your mind, there's no box, right? The box doesn't exist. Like, it doesn't exist. So how do you change that mindset? And it's a choice. It's simply a choice. And you have to imply or install or put forth visually concepts of opportunity and curriculum of these type of things. And that's why I'm here. Late Bloomer K, Us TV, holla at your boy, Jazz America. You already know what it is.